be honest, this is me just talking a little bit because we're all excited to see this. We'll give it a couple moments of silence for the tension to build up, and then I'll keep talking. Shit, I'm nervous. Do you have one?
Not yet, but I'm planning it, and I'm working with a friend who's an chip implanter. I'm just talking to her now about what to do, what I'm going to choose to have, what data hold on it. Yes. So,
what would be the first thing that you would put on it?
I'd like to get over this constant keying in codes, just quickly being able to open phones, laptops, etc. But I'd also like to get rid of quite a lot of things I carry in my bag. I'd very much like biosignal feedback in different ways.
Yeah.
And I don't have a medical need, but many people do have that. So I think there's a very useful potential for people who, like you mentioned, diabetes, even sun exposure. You've had too much sun, vibrations on that. So, and maybe there's something more creative to do too. There are people using chips to make music in the air. There are people using chips to feel earthquakes around the world, to feel the weather coming. There's, very creative, wonderful, individual, idiosyncratic choices as well.
I'm excited to see this. Let's take a pause really quick and see what's going on here. It's waiting.
Now it's gonna clean the area.
Okay. So I guess we're cleaning the surface. The surface is his hands. How excited are you on a level of 0 to 10?
Like 90%.
90%?
90%.
That's it. That's all he needed. It was just a quick check. Okay. So how far away do you think we are from everything that you're saying? All this cool stuff.
As I mentioned, I do think for younger generations, this is definitely a way forward. There's been a lot of testing of implants, both for the medical side, but also for information-based and data implants.
Right.
Many different materials can be used: gold, silver, platinum, uranium, and in different parts of the body. This has been happening for quite a while now, and we have some quite strong pioneers who've experimented with it from the 80s onwards.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we're ready to move.
So Edgar is going to be putting some digital bling onto himself right now. Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. Does anybody have any questions about what's happening right now on a very simple level while we're waiting for this to happen?
My question is really, what is the functionality of this chip, and also for how long is he gonna have it there?
So for how long he's going to have it in there is however long he decides to have it, but what's good about it is that it's simple to take out. It's just one little prick and he can take it out. So it can be in there for, I think it's like 5 or something more years. It depends on the type of manufacturer, but they all have a coating that's biocompatible. Again, as I said, the functionality of this specific chip is not the most complex in the entire world. It's just a normal NFC chip from like a credit card, say. So actually this is, I just keep walking over here to see what's happening. Okay, so I'm going to be like David Attenborough as I kind of dictate or narrate what's going on. The area has been marked with what seems to be a marker. Super, technical level. Let's talk about something while this is happening, because I'm getting super excited about this. Oh, should we do another question? Sorry. Yeah, why not? Let's go for it, and then we'll keep talking.
Edgar, is your name? What data are you going to put on this?
I'm sorry?
What's the data that this gentleman's going to put on the chip?
This gentleman, as he will explain to you later on, will be putting the opening credentials for his house on it. In a bit, he'll be able to put payment information on it, and he'll even be able to put some type of Bitcoin wallet and some other cool stuff like this. And if one day he gets a car that has one of these keyless entry fobs, maybe he can put that on there as well. Okay, this seems like it's going to happen right now.
Okay.
Moment of silence, everyone, for Edgar.
Antes, haz una prueba para que vean cómo se ve. No, pero como lo... ¿Sí? ¿Está al otro lado?
Okay, so can you see it? find that angle. So
Yeah.
it's magnified, guys. It's not that big. Okay, so the syringe is about the size of 2 times the needle that they use to. Oh, what?
Now.
Oh, it's happening. Okay. Whew. Oh my God. Oh my God. Woo! Oh, keep it going for Edgar. You really held up like a champ. Okay, so a bit of technical specs, and then we'll pan back to Edgar to see how he's doing. But the size of the needle that was used was about 2 times the size of a needle that's used to take blood out. So about that. The chip is the size of maybe a grain of sand or 2, and it's covered in a material that's biocompatible, so our body doesn't degrade it over time, and it doesn't create any harmful interactions. There it is! Woo! All right. Can I get this mic over here? That was amazing. Thank you so much, Desiree. Edgar?
Yeah.
Yeah? Why did you do this? Now that it's done and you can't go back, why did you do this?
I did it basically for two main things. First, because it's super, for me, very useful because I have a domotic house. I can open the door at the same time that, like, this is the key of my house. It will be the key of my house. And secondly, because I can withdraw it very easily. Simply making a little cat and pressing it, and it will bring out.
Woo! Thank you for doing this for us. So, now, this is the interesting part of the day. We're gonna do, you know, like in these cooking shows where they're cooking something and they're preparing everything and then it magically goes into the oven and literally 20 seconds after it comes all baked and perfect? This is what's happening right now. We're gonna do a quick switcheroo and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because when you put the chip into somebody's hand, the tissue around it becomes inflamed for about 48 to 72 hours or something like this, so it can't be programmed on the spot. However, we already prepared this for you like a cooking show, so we already injected it in somebody and we already programmed it with the necessary payment information. Pao, can you please come up onto the stage? Thank you very much. Woo! All right. So, right now, this is what's going to happen. We've programmed the chip that's inside Bao's hand to have all his necessary payment information. In this case, his Bank Sabadell account. Bank Sabadell have created a point of sale kind of system just because simply we don't have the normal point of sale thing that they have outside, so it's a virtual point of sale system. And what's going to happen is that Edgar is needing money from Pao, so he's gonna say, hey man, you owe me 15 euros. So he's gonna put his phone next to Pao's hand and he's going to take that money, direct deposit into his bank account. So, this is the app right now. We're gonna do it a couple times just so you can see it. Done. Just so you think that it's not something weird happening. Bao, do you think that we can see the light? The LED? So, this is the extra special part of all of this, is that there is an LED light inside of this chip, and it doesn't have a battery or anything like this. The energy feeds off of the actual frequencies that are being sent from the cell phone. Can you see the light? Yeah, okay, cool. So that light is underneath his skin right now. Wow. Okay, so an applause for everyone. Can we see the transaction being made? Okay, so if we zoom in, there we can see the transaction being authorized from Pau's wallet, which was on his hands, to Edgar's account. And this is not a Bitcoin wallet, this is actual money being transferred through Bank Sabadell accounts right now. So to talk about this, can we please get Ana Pujuriol on stage? Thank you. Ana is... She is the director of financial services for Bank Sabadell. She's helped us do this entire thing, in part, the mastermind of this entire weird process, but awesome at the same time. Ana, what do you think of this? What's the future?
Okay, we have been seeing now is what the future of payments could be. Now in payments we are seeing a trend, which is the integration of the credit card in elements different from the card. Through tokenization, we can convert the credit card number into a token, and we can record or associate this token to any element, to a mobile wallet, to an implanted chip, to facial recognition, license plate, or whatever.
Thank you so much, Ana, and thank you for all of this. Any last remarks? What do you think? Where should we go from here?
I think it's wonderful that you've come to do this and do with the bank side, but as we were all talking today about, we know that, and particularly with banks, there's a lot of personal data here that's being used, and we need to have the debate about personal data protection, which the banks are very good at, but which needs to go into all the companies who are starting up to use chips, who are using personal data. And I think the second thing is, let's look 8 to 10 years from now and consider a space where we can use chips in our bodies to move augmented reality around ourselves, to actually use it within the workplace, through gestures, through our hands, through our whole bodies, without having to wear the wearables of today, the glasses of today. And maybe that's longer than 8 years away, but it's a very good place to look at, because then we are using our natural bodies and we're putting our human beingness at the center of technology.
Thank you so much for that. Before we close, as the ending closing remark, I just want to synthesize what happens here today, just so you realize how crazy this was. We came on stage, we took a knowing victim, we implanted a grain of rice size microchip with communication capabilities into somebody's hands. We got Bank Sabadell to create a token for a credit card and an account, put it in there, and now that person is able to make mobile payments with their hands and whatever else lies in the future. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. This is the end of the live biohacking implant show. Thanks a lot.